guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, becoming a very entertaining revenge slash last laugh story that was sent in from a subscriber. This is from a guy, I believe he's in his early to mid 50s. He's a father. He is divorced and on his second marriage. However, his second marriage has been great. And he shares this story about how in his first marriage, after years of being married, out of nowhere his wife tells him that not only is she no longer in love with him, but it comes out that she's been cheating on him. Real nice. And our guy, who has a great sense of humor, you're going to like him, handles things like a boss. And she never saw what he did was coming. And let me tell you, has the last laugh on multiple fronts against her, the guy she was hooking up with, and simply by having a great second part of his life. And I think you guys will really appreciate this one here. Now, there's one thing this guy does in this story that in the short term is not boss-like, that he'll be getting a major smack from me, and a smacks around the world, guaranteed. And you'll know that moment. However, that decision, he got lucky. That's all I'm going to say. And I wouldn't advise it, but for him, he's happy and good for him. So I think you guys will appreciate this story. So he says, hello, SSM. I'm not sure if you can use this, but it was cathartic writing it down. Thank you for giving men an outlet for all the things that we never say to people that know us. Have fun with this. I hope you don't do any permanent damage to your hand from smacking me upside the head. Well, I'm ready, brother. And the guys around the world are ready. The ex and I met in high school. She had this t-shirt with the SR-71 on it, and boy, those engines were powerful, if you know what I mean. Whoops, I got sidetracked. And my oldest son was born the day after I graduated. Yes, I was that guy. We were married on her 17th birthday, legal in Arizona with parents' consent. Smack! Are you nuts? She got pregnant and you had the kid. It didn't mean, this is probably like 1989, 1990, give or take. Didn't mean you have to do it. Maybe that was your religion, your culture. I don't know. But still. And oh yeah, another one. Smack for getting her pregnant at that age, bonehead. My daughter came along 3 years later. Insert another smack. Well, I busted my ass for my family 50 to 60 hours a week for years. After she completed high school, she worked and helped out too. Well, man, I will say this. A lot of guys could have taken off for the hills and abandoned the kids. Even though I disagree with you getting married, you didn't have to do that. You still could have taken care of the kid. And now, kids, you were a stand-up guy and you provided. And that's great. Well, I thought we were happy. I know I was. I had the best kids, a pretty wife, and a small house, and I couldn't believe how lucky I was. Hear that? Didn't take a whole lot for him to be happy, even though he was busting his tail. Well, fast forward 17 years later, about 3 weeks after our 17th anniversary, okay, so you're probably, 34 years old, 35, give or take. I woke up, rolled over for a bit of early morning mattress wrestling, and she said, "I don't think I love you anymore." Well, happy anniversary. I replied, okay, and went back to sleep. I mean, what do you say to that? Can I at least have a cup of coffee before you torpedo my life? Well, later that day, I asked her why, and she replied that I was too immature and she didn't see me acting my age anytime soon. What? At 17 or 18, you got married? You were a stand-up guy, you're busting your about 50, 60 hours a week, and all that at that age, and you had a house and kids, and you stayed together, and you didn't run off and cheat on her, and you're too immature for your age? What, because she doesn't like you watching fucking Star Trek and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all that, and playing video games or something like that? I mean, I think you were, taking care of business. I think she was just looking for an excuse to ruin things. Well, I moved into our guest room, depression, anger, not pretty thoughts for the whole 9 yards. I found that she had been using someone else's salsa on her taco. Yes, cliche as it is, she was fooling around with a coworker. A 15-year her senior married coworker. Talk about daddy issues. I guess she found maturity in a well-aged sausage. Okay, so she's like 35, so he's probably 50 years old. He's married. How nice of her to thank you. Okay, fine. You got married super young and all that, and she didn't have her childhood or teenage years and all that stuff. If she was that unhappy, okay, it happened. She could have communicated to you and ended things. No, she had to go off and have an affair. The part that hurt the most was that he was an unarmed casino rent-a-cop, whereas I was a Arizona state licensed armed rent-a-cop. What a downgrade to go from a guy packing 2 sets of cuffs, a baton, OC, spray, 2 square mags, and a 1911 to an old guy packing a bum knee and a stern voice. Ooh, how intimidating. It was a total nut punch, but a guy I worked with me told me, women and dogs, if they won't stay in the yard, lock the gate after they leave and don't let them back in. Ah, the wisdom from a grumpy old fart. Thanks, Sylvester. Well, about 2 weeks after her revelation, I asked to speak with her. I asked if there was anything we could do to work this out, time apart or counseling. Smack! Bro, for goodness sake. And by the way, that isn't the main thing I'm going to smack him on. For goodness sake, man, she's cheating on you. It's over. And your oldest is probably darn close to graduating high school. Your second not long on the way. But you're probably doing what a lot of guys would do. Thinking of the kids. She replied to me, no, she was done. I replied, okay, and I slid the wedding ring off her finger and promptly crushed it and cut it into 2 with a pair of wire cutters and said, okay then, we're done. Dude, that is a boss move. Pulling the ring off and chopping it. I haven't heard that before. The look on her face was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Think Luke Skywalker learning the fact that Vader is his father. I knew you were a Star Wars fan. That's probably why she gets pissed off at you. I then crossed the room, powered up the computer, and started opening some dating sites while she sat there with her mouth agape like a catfish. Obviously, mouth agape wasn't something new. It was probably her new default setting. Oh, it was. I love that, man. You ruin the wedding ring, and then you open up the dating sites right in front of her. Brilliant. I kept asking her opinions on my profiles, not using her advice, but asking just the same, twisting the knife. Boss move, my man. I told the kids the truth, and they took it well, as can be expected. Well, they were late-stage teenagers. We decided that she could keep the Basset Hound that I got in her and the bazillion-mile Suzuki Sidekick, and I would take the 70 Volkswagen Beetle. It was a win for me. Well, dude, right then and there, you are done. Good for you. About 2 months later, I moved out to shack up with a single mom about 50 miles away. Smack, smack, smack. That's what I'm talking about. Are you nuts? 2 months? You moving in with this woman? A single MOM? You known her 2 months? I got a pair of sneakers I bought a couple months ago that longer than that. Than this time frame here. Are you crazy? I don't care how good looking she was. And I know you know now about the single MOMs. Well, you're going to see, guys, he actually got extremely lucky. There are dudes smacking you all around the world. In the comment section, I want to hear where you're smacking them from. Ireland, Iceland, Jersey, wherever. I want to hear it. I got a job doing overnight security patrols that would allow me to run the kids back and forth 1 week with the Wicked Witch and 1 week with me. They were homeschooled, and that gives a certain amount of flexibility. My girlfriend adored my kids, and her 2-year-old son was an awesome kid. You got lucky, man. I would never recommend doing that. My girlfriend had been, in her past, verbally and mentally abused by her ex-husband, and I had trust issues. I promised never to yell at her, degrade, belittle, or do any harm to her, and she vowed to never cheat on me. Well, isn't every ex abusive? Isn't that what they all say? Maybe this was true this time. And that's nice. You made commitments to each other and vowed things, but how many married women take vows, you and no other, and they're off with Chad and Tyrone 3 weeks later after the honeymoon? But okay. Well, Typhoid Mary immediately moved into her geriatric lovers. She moved her geriatric lover into the house that I had paid for. Onto the mattress, I had done all sorts of naughty things with her, and I didn't care that he was decent with my kids. But my dog didn't like him either. For the most part, the wife Zilla and I were polite. Only once did I have to explain that she didn't get to have an opinion in my life choices unless she wanted to hear my opinion on her life choices. She replied, no, not really, and that was that. Isn't that amazing? She all the years of marriage, she's cheating on you, you split up, and she still thinks she has a right to have an opinion on your life choices. Well, I saw my ex, aka the village bicycle, at a graduation party that she threw for her daughter, and she looked rough, rode hard, and put away. Anyway, my daughter came to stay with me full time. My son had moved to Washington State to stay with my parents. So in other words, your kids are growing up and they want to get as far away from her as possible. So one day I get a call from the Queen of the Harpies and she told me to come get my dog. Apparently he had bit Captain Viagra and he wanted it gone. You bet your butt I drove down that day and brought my dog home. That is awesome. Thank God that great dog isn't with her. See, dogs know. Didn't like that guy. Well, the sperm sponge and I got our mutual debts taken care of and divorced as amicably as possible. Not friendly, just polite. I'd already taken everything I wanted, so it went through without a fuss. Well, fast forward about 10 months, maybe a year, and my fiance, insert a giant smack, and I were standing in the kitchen of our new rental, and it was big enough for the kids, the cats, the dogs, the rabbits, and tarantulas. And I get a call from Captain Viagra. And he sounded distraught. I put him on the speaker so my future missus can hear this too. And he goes on and on about how he thinks my ex is cheating on him. You mean the guy that was banging your wife is now calling you to complain that your ex is now cheating on him? See, guys, this is my point. If you find out your girl cheat on her prior boyfriends and all, the odds are she's going to do it to you. Don't get involved with them. And he goes on and on about how he thinks my ex is cheating on him. And I have to admit that it was absolutely the funniest thing since the ring incident. And my fiance and I try not to laugh out loud. But inside, we're pissing our pants while the sap goes on and on. I'm really trying my best to act like I give a crap, consoling him as much as I feel like, and basically all I could say was, well, that's what she does. After the call ended, we busted out laughing. It was awesome. Dude, that's great. Great revenge for you on that guy. I mean, you said he was okay to your kids, but regardless, it doesn't matter. I mean, your kids are grown up and they're out of the house. Well, how this shit worked out for me. Come to find out, yes, the woman formerly known as my personal home entertainment system had found somebody new to butter her biscuits. She left the old guy for some poor dumb schmuck with 7 kids and incredibly low standards. And if the rumors are true, she is miserable. Another win for me. There you go. Nothing like hearing about the people that did you wrong or hurting. I'm in that camp, but that's just me. The old guy, his ex-wife took the house, the Cadillac, half of his retirement, and he was paying spousal support. His kids disowned him, and his hot young thing moved on to find fresh guacamole for her taco. He died of a heart attack about 6 months later. Holy shit. Nobody found him for 4 days. So much down for OPP. Me, I married that single mom 17 years ago. Oh, for goodness sakes, so smack! But it worked out, so I'm happy for you. But I'm going to let you get away with that. You got lucky, man. She has the most amazing eyes. We bought a house, had another son, and I'm living my best train wreck of a life. Oh, and my wife, my older kids call her mom. She's happy with my immaturity and calls me the world's oldest 12-year-old. Oh, another win for me. I just proofread this, and wow, I'm doing better than the 2007 version of me ever thought it would be. Thanks for everything you do, SSM. Watching these videos is like people watching at Walmart. I realize my life isn't so bad. Later. Dude, that's funny. You got a good sense of humor. Yeah, you've been through some shit, but you moved on, you persevered, and you got lucky. Never in a million years would I recommend you guys, after going through a bad divorce, and then shacking up with any woman, single mom or not, 2 months later, you are asking for trouble. I mean, if not for you, for your own kids. You need to be on your own for a while, healing. And I don't mean the kind of healing with another chick riding you. I'm talking about healing on your own, getting through the divorce, being single again, being strong for your kids. Then if you meet some chick, okay, that's fine. Take a long time. And then you married her like a year later. You got lucky, and I'm happy for you. I really am. But goddamn it, I smacked you, and all the guys around the world are smacking you for that. But I think it's hilarious. Your good sense of humor in this whole thing. You taking the ring off her finger and cutting it in half with the bolt cutters and going on the dating apps and asking her opinions. That's hilarious, man. That's boss level move. And great. You have a happy life. Had another son. That's great. So I wish you and your family well. We all definitely enjoyed this one, and good luck to you, sir. And I'm sure you'll be a very cool grandpa. And if you're supposedly the oldest living 12-year-old or too immature or some bullshit like that, who cares? You took care of business. You're a good guy. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure you like the video. Share with your friends and subscribe. And catch you next time.